Hello, everyone. I just saw this particular message on Twitter. It was a tweet. Is it post they call it now? We used to call it tweet, Twitter tweet. But this particular message resounded in me, and I just felt I needed to talk about it because it's something that continuously happens in Nigeria. We've gotten to a place where people always think that everything is because of something. How do I put it? Things are not because of our action, but because of one thing, cut soap for me. Like, oh, you've done something. That's why people just believe that it's not about hard work, it's not about smart work, it's not about putting in the work, it's not about the effort. That things will just happen. Even when people talk about grace, look, grace will not hit you if you've not put in the work. For you to have grace, for grace to work in your life, you have to put in the work. Everybody has grace that God has given them. But how many people are putting in the work and using the grace that God has given them to get to where they are? But we've come to a place in Nigeria where everything is attributed to something. That's why you see people are killing people for rituals, money rituals. People that are doing Yahoo, they are saying they are going to bath them, they are going to fortify them, they are going to do this thing, do that one. I saw this thing where a particular native doctor was arrested, and then he was brought in to come to the river because it's river where he used to bait these people who do Yahoo and all of that and give them fortification, that he used to summon crocodile, summon river, this. So they took him there and said, yeah, come and summon them. He did. Nothing came out. Other than that one dummy carved like crocodile that was there already. There was none that came out. But probably he could have told them that they come in the spirits and you can't see them, so which is a genuine thing, because faith is all about believing in things that you cannot see. You understand? Even when you can't see them. So he could have used that, but that wasn't the case. But the thing is that it's so rampant in Nigeria. You see someone is doing something, someone is on the next day, cut soap for me, show me the way, come and do it. And I can tell you it didn't start today. And I'm just going to share a brief personal story. So some years ago, and I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken, this should be like maybe 20 years ago. Yeah. No, I get it. It's more than 20 years ago. Yes, more than 20 years ago. So one of my friends, her mother came to meet me, came to sat with me. She was crying. Her daughter, the daughter wasn't my friend. The one that was my friend, her senior sister, that she was not married, she didn't have a job and stuff like that. That she was coming to come and beg me, please, I should show her the way. That she knows that she's much older than me, but somebody can always know a place. Let me show her maybe the malams that do things for me or whatever. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, Mama, I don't have any madam. In my life, I don't have any of those things. I have God, and that's it. I have faith in God. Whatever it is that God has not given me, I just move on. Because let me just even digress from this one. I've had a friend who at that same time also had said to me, you can't just sit like that without all of these malams and whatever. You need to have this. I'm looking around, I'm like, that was 20 years ago. I'm like, me at the time I say, my mama no born me for anybody. Nobody feel harm me except anything where God say will happen to me. And I have in me, I'm protected by God, not by human being. So when she came, and the thing I always remember this was the fact that not long after she had done this, that particular, he had a daughter became sick. And unfortunately, we ended up losing her. About 20 years, it's soon going to be 20 years ago that we ended up losing her. And every time I always thought about that scenario, and here she was crying over the fact that this girl didn't have a job, she wasn't married, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, see now that catastrophe has come, because she was really sick for a while before she passed. I'm like, now, so which one will you choose? We don't have okay, let them even have the job, let her just be there. Because I'm always like, life in this life, some things you may be going through tough time. And I think sometimes for somebody like me now, a lot of people, people who are close to me, I don't talk about my tough times. They happen. And I smile through them, and I'm always grateful. And people say that because for me, I always say I always live with the scenario of it can be worse. I could lose lots of money in a deal. I can tell you there was one whole the 2011, 2012 was my worst time in business. In short, my 39th birthday, I didn't know it was my 39th birthday because I was busy fighting. I was literally about almost like going into bankruptcy. My family were all worried for me, and a whole lot of money's being lost. I've imported this thing. I was losing so much money and all of that. It was years later when I was checking my emails and I saw the email I wrote to my producers in China, where I said to them, stop all production. I don't know what's happening in my country because you buy this and you bring them in here, you're selling them less than even what you bought them. You're losing so much money. And so I said, stop all production. That was when but in the whole of that process, what I said to myself was that I sat down one day and I said to myself, Aisha, once upon a time, you will go to school without even food to eat. In short, food, not even 3 square meal, even if it's one meal a day, was not guaranteed in our house at one time when we were growing up. I said, now you can afford to lose this money. God, that means you came a long way. That for me, that was the change of that whole thing. My mind, at the moment I sat down and I thought of it that way, my mindset changed. I was like, even if I lose this whole money, it's a privilege. And at least it's growth that I even had the money to lose in the first place. Because it is somebody that has money that has something to lose. The person that has never seen that money does not even have that amount to lose. That mentality shifted. So that's the kind of person I am. No matter how things are hard, no matter what it is. And I tell people, somehow I thrive under pressure. And, when things are like hard, I'm always calm. I have the capacity, thank God for the gift of when things are going scatter, everybody's like, oh my God. I have capacity to be calm and I can think things through. And I will think through. So in crisis mode, I work very well. I think things through. And that's a gift I don't take, for granted. And so when I saw this thing, so this thing has always been there. Somebody came out and he said, December 2022, someone ordered. Okay, so somebody asked on Twitter that, have you ever driven Bolt, Uber, cab or Danfo? Do you have a story that's unbelievable? Share a bit. So this person said, December 2022, someone ordered from VCP Hotel. I don't know where that is anyway, but maybe people who live within that area will know. VCP Hotel. I got there, I waited for about 40 minutes for a 7-minute trip. Listen to that, to 40 minutes. As in you are on Uber, Uber, they are in a hurry now because he needs to go and pick other people. Other people are requesting, and then he comes. It's supposed to be a 7-minute drive to carry you and drop you. And the person waited for you for 40 minutes. He said it was frustrating. But I didn't complain, kept it cool. Ride was 2,100 naira. He said, I got an alert for 52,100 naira. That's to say the person paid him extra 50,000 for staying and he did not. He said the next ride was 8 minutes. Customer transferred 24,000. You understand? So you see from here, which is that, then the person who originally asked for this, he said, did they request refund? He said, no now. I kept in touch and did more offline for them. I had more office customers than on the ride. I met some of the best humans on Uber rides. You see this whole thing that played out, right? And I'll tell you why I did this video. Someone that came out on this thing, he said, be like you bath soap that day. Be like you bath soap that day. Then another one say, you no go like cut soap for me, chairman. You see, the whole of, let me remove my glasses, the whole of these things that happened has been reduced to having soap that day. There was something that you did and you did. They're not looking at what was it that this person did. And that's why you say a lot of people, they don't do anything. They're waiting for, they go hammer, they go get. Meanwhile, it's about consistently doing things the right way that gets you to that place, that it now becomes big. People will say, oh, overnight success. But you have to put in a lot to get that overnight success. You see this man, when he went in there, he could have been angry. He could have driven away. When that a passenger came, he could have been very angry. No, why did you waste my time? I've been here. Or call the person. I've been here for 40 minutes. You didn't pick it. Blah, 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 blah. He chose not to do that. He chose to keep his cool. He said it was frustrating, but he kept his cool. So when that person came and saw the way he behaved, that was what led to the 50,000. It wasn't soap. It was his capacity to keep his cool. His capacity to not get angry and say, okay, no wahala, whatever happened, let me see this through that way. And I'm sure the way he treated the other ones. So I've entered bosses where the people, somebody will do something with you, the way they behave myself, you walk away. And before this video ends, I will share another story. But see this man, but somebody is waiting for soap to cut. He's not looking at it to learn. See the way this man kept quiet. He was peaceful. He wasn't angry. And see what it led to him. It is soap they are looking for. That's why a lot of us, we miss so many things because we are looking for extra. That's why people are running from pastor to pastor, malam to malam, dibia to dibia, babalawo to babalawo, boka to boka, looking for things that they themselves could simply change by the way, that they are. Sorry, I wanted to share with you. It happened during this election, this area council election. I had come to my polling unit. I finished voting, went home, came back before for the counting to be done, and then our ADC agent was there, and I was like, okay, I needed to go and buy something for him to eat, get him things to just take in, even the people around to just give them. So I went first went to go and buy the person that had not many people open. I had to buy drinks. I had bought snacks and all of that. This guy was so aggressive. Even first said the way he returned, and then the next thing, the way I was like, oh God, you are selling this, why are you behaving like this? Then another person came to buy. He was quarreling with that person. And I said to no, that he would show the person that if you like, don't buy, take your money, don't buy. And I said to if you are not selling to him, I too will not buy. He said yes. So I packed my things, I left. I said, is there another person? They now pointed one shop to me. I went there and I bought mineral. I think I bought like, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not up to 20, at least maybe 3 good amount of this thing for this now. That's how people behave sometimes, that they lose things in life. Sometimes it's not about soap. It is about our own behavior. Let's learn for other people's experience and not always be asking them to give us. So thank you so much for watching till this end. If you did, thank you.